Yeah, good morning and welcome to class. It is almost 1 a.m. Yeah, and let's get into our today's lesson so that we can perform whatever we're supposed to do for today and then see what God will do for our lives. So let's bring our objective out. Where's my objective? And I want to just make something clear to everyone that by the end of this week, God willing, we should complete Python basics. So if you have been following these lectures, you can be rest assured that by the end of this week, latest by Sunday, we should complete Python basics. And then I will then introduce you guys to various specialized areas in which you can concentrate based on your interest and your passion. So you can concentrate on a particular path and master on that, and it will help you a lot. Now, this is what we intend to achieve for today. We are saying that by the end of today's lesson, we should be able to, one, understand Python tuples, because we have been learning Python data collection for the past 1 week now. It has taken us some time. So today will be the last session for data collection, which is, some people call it arrays, Python arrays. So if you have been following, today we will put an end to data collection. So, and tuple is one of Python data collection. Then we will understand the difference between tuples and other data collections. For instance, we learn sets, we learn lists, and we learned what again? We learn sets, lists. Then tuples is another one, and dictionaries. We learn dictionaries too. So we should be able to differentiate all these data collections. And then we should also understand tuples methods that exist in tuples, and may relate it to other data collections that we learn, that is sets, lists, and dictionaries. And then you should be able to also come out or put whatever you have learned into practice, like what we have been doing. We should be able to code something, and then to feel the power of tuples. Then, and the last objective is to find resources, finding resources to empower your coding. So finding resources to empower your coding. Sometimes people often ask me, do I need to memorize everything before I can become a good programmer? I will answer such a question at the end of the lesson. So let's get into our today's lesson. Now, our first objective, we have to understand what a tuple is. A tuple is just like the other data set, but then tuple is an ordered and unchangeable data set. So if you have any information that you put inside a tuple, it should be in a form of order, the way you want it to be ordered. That's one. And then any item that you put inside a tuple cannot be changed. I mean that if you put A will always be there. You can't change A to B the next day. So if you want to change A to B, then you better use another data set, but not tuples. and you can use list. So our focus is on tuples, and for that matter, the simplest definition and then explanation that I can give when it comes to tuple is tuples are data sets that are in ordered form. The way you arrange it is going to be maintained that way, and then you can change it. The two key words are very important. The one, it is ordered and unchangeable. And then we put tuples in what? In two circular what? Brackets. So let's bring our terminal, and then I can demonstrate something for you guys to see. So for instance, this is my patcher. So let me just minimize this so you guys can see. So we are saying that if I say my tuple, like this. So we all know what I've just done. I've declared what? A variable. And I've named my variable as what? My tuple. So we can assign this to an empty tuple. And to assign any variable, we use the equal what? Sign. And then this double what? Circular bracket is what we represent as what? Tuples. So in list, we use what? Two square brackets. In cells, we use two curly brackets. So we should know these differences. Now, our focus is on what? On tuples. And for that matter, we use the two round what? Brackets. So this is what we term as what? Empty what? Tuple. Now, if we start to put any information in between these two round brackets, then we term that information as what? Items. For instance, I can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that I have 5 items inside my what? My tuples. And I can call it so by just saying that, bringing the built-in function, print. Then print what? My tuple. So if you run this code, it is going to print out these 5 items. So let's run the code. And guys, you can see it has printed out the 5 what? Items, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we are saying that in tuples, the way you number it is ordered. This is how you want it to be. And for that matter, any how you arrange it, it is going to appear in that format. Now, if assuming I want to find the methods that exist in tuples, because we said one of our objectives is to find methods. Now, tuples has only what? 2 methods. Unlike sets has so many methods, list has so many methods, but tuple has only what? 2 what? Methods. And no one is going to even ask you these things, but just for information's sake. So that's why we are doing it, and how you can implement such information. So if I say tuple, so for instance, if I say tuple dot, and you can see if you say tuple dot, you only have 2 what? Methods here, which is what? Index and count. So index, we all know when we say index. For instance, if I put index like this, so the index, which index, if I want to call on any of these numbers, they have to put that number inside this 2 round brackets. So if I put maybe 3 like this, so let's print this and see the results we are going to get. And it has returned what? Nothing, because we haven't bring the what? The built-in function print. So for us to print it, so let's just bring the built-in function print, and then so let's run the code once again, and it has returned what? 2. So why is it that 3 is returning 2? Because if you count here, 1 is what? 0, 2 is 1, and 3 is what? Index number what? 3. So it means that we only have what? 3 in it. So for us to get a better understanding of it, I'm going to add another 3. So assuming I want to use the built-in function, which is count in the dot. So let's use the count and put 3 inside and see the result that we are going to get. It will return what? 3. Why is it returning 3? It is returning 2 because 3 appears what? Twice. Because we say we want to count the number of 3s inside our tuple. And if you bring the count keyword and put any variable that you want to count, any item that you want to count, it will return the number of that item. For instance, if I want to count 5, how many 5s is inside the tuple? It should return 1. So let's print it. And guys, you can see it has returned what? 1. So tuple has only what? 2 main functions. 1 is index and 2 is count. Now, I just want to turn our attention to real life situation where you can use tuples. For instance, let's look at what is existing in our lives. We have mobile money systems, whether e-cash or whatever. If you dial a certain shortcode, you don't want you want that shortcode to be static and changeable. So the code itself is what? You can use tuple to set that shortcode. Assuming MTM is *170 hash. So you want to set this number to be static and changeable. So you can use tuple there. Then when you even dial it, it will give you a number of prompts to choose maybe any transaction you want to perform. Then such list to need to be what? Static, because you don't want it to change. So this is how we use tuple, or where we can apply tuples in real life situations. So I hope I made myself clear here. So now let's see, if assuming this, if we change this double round bracket to square bracket, now we then have, this is now a list. And if we want to find out the methods that exist in what? In this list, we can just say my tuple dot. And you can see we have so many what? Method. We have count, which is 1, 2 is index, 3 is append, 4 is clear, in that order, up to remove pop. So all these things are what? Methods and what? And list. If I change the square bracket to curly bracket, which is set, if you bring the dot here again, it is going to give you a lot of methods again. And you can see under set, you can add set, you can clear, you can copy difference, then you can discard intersection. We were learning intersection, disjoint, subsets, and other stuff. So sometimes you need not to memorize, and this answers the question that people ask about how are they going to be memorizing the course, and it answered the question in the sense that sometimes we use text editors because with these IDEs, it has some intelligence in it. So as soon as you start to type, then it brings out whatever you want to do. So it guides you, it helps you in anything at all you are doing. So this is, for instance, if you say tuple.add, like this, and then so if you print, so let me just make it a very nice one so that you guys can see what we are doing. So let's bring list 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I bring my tuple, my variable dot, now if I immediately I bring the dot, the built-in method has come. It will come automatically. So I'll just pick a pen. I want to add number 5 to the last 4. So if I use the keyword, my variable dot append, and then put number 5, then if I print this code, 5 should be added to the what? To the existing what? List. So let's print. So print, and then my tuple. So if I run this code, you can see that 5 has what? Added into the what? Into the last item, which is 4. So we now have what? 5 at the end. So this is how you can use the built-in methods to perform anything at all you want to do, whether you want to delete, you want to add, you want to, whatever you want to do. And using these text editors, this built-in IDEs, download them, and then if you are using it, it will make your coding curve very simple for you, because it will guide you as to whatever you want to do. For instance, if I just start to type print, it will automatically come. So even if I don't know how to even spell print, I'll just press my tab key and then it will auto-complete it for me. So this is how this kind of editors helps when you are using it. Let's go back to our objectives and then see what we're supposed to learn. So we understand what a tuple is, and we said a tuple is a data set that is ordered and unchangeable. That is the simplest definition or explanation I can give. I mean that if you number your items, that is the way it is going to appear. And 2, you can change whatever you put inside the tuple. Then, and we also try to understand the difference that exists between tuple and the other data set, unlike list, set, and then dictionary. So tuple has only 2 methods. Set, list, and then dictionary has so many what? Methods. And that's one key thing. That and the list or set or dictionary, you can make some changes into your what? Into your items. Then we also learn the 2 types of tuple methods. We said we have the what? The index and then the count. Now, and we also try to use tuple in our demonstration. So so let's do another example. So assuming we have numbers. So number is just our variable, and we are setting it to, so we say we use the round what? Brackets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we set our tuple to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, for instance, let's even find out whether this is really a tuple. So let's print type. We want to know what type are we using. So number. So now if we run this code, you can see they are telling us that the class is what? Tuple. So it means that it can determine our what? Whatever we are doing here. And it is telling us that because we put our items inside the what? The 2 round brackets, it is what? A tuple. Even if there's nothing inside it, like an empty tuple, it will still tell us So assuming we run this code, it will still return the class to be what? Tuple. So, but this is an empty what? Tuple. So there's nothing inside the what? The tuple set. So if we add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I mean that we have assigned 6 items inside our tuple. So if we run this code, then we are going to get, so let's print, we are just printer, not the number again. So let's print, and you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has what? Returned. So this is all about what tuple. There's no much complex stuff that you need to learn under tuple. You just need to understand that tuple, the way you arrange tuple, is going to appear that way. That's 1. And 2, you can't make any changes in your what? In your tuple. You can't make any changes in your tuple. So the way you set your items, the way you order it, it is going to come in that format. And then if you want to change it, you can change it. And that is the most important thing. And that is all about tuples. So this is the end of we learning what? Data collections. We've learned sets, we learned lists, we learned dictionaries, and today we've just exhausted what? Tuples. So our next meeting, we shall be looking at what? Loops, which is very interesting. Loop, Python what? Loops. So whether loop or loops. So, and you can foresee we have for loop, we have while loop. It is even indexing. We have while loop, and I don't know whether do while loop is working here, but Python for now Python don't take do while loop, but then we have for loop and what? While loop. So our next meeting we shall learn for loop and then while loop, and then put an end to loops, and then it will now level us with functions. And when we deal with functions, I mean that we finish Python what? Basis. So this is the learning curve. And whoever is following these tutorials, these sections, then you should make sure that you go through all what we have done. And when we are putting an end to entering level to Python programming, you can be rest assured to count yourself among those who are the achievers of that. And then you can then start to specialize in a particular what field. And I will guide you as to which areas to specialize. For instance, those who want to specialize in data visualization, like machine learning and other stuff, these are some of my projects I'm running. It's just a simple project. If I run this project, what it does is, if it validates any profile picture. So for instance, Facebook, if you forget your account, sometimes they'll bring out some people and ask you to identify them. So if you submit their names or their pictures wrongly, their system will automatically detect and know that, okay, you don't know what you are talking about, and for that matter, they will disable your account. But if you are able to identify said people, then it will compare the information they have in their database, and then if it is correct, then it then allows you and then give you access to your account so that you can have your account back. So this is one example of it. So if I run this program, let's wait because I'm recording. It will come. have, because of I'm recording, so it will be very hard for it to come. But then let me minimize the font so that it may help. Sometimes that's why I often make the font size too small, because the more you open up stuffs, the more resources you have to provide. So I was using the font size to be 30. So let's make it maybe 16. Let's set it back to 16. So, and this is the code. So what error were they saying? They are saying that line 8. So line 8, okay, they are saying gray is equal to 02. Okay, so let's run the program once again. And you should be comfortable with this kind of errors, because everyone will get it, whether you are a professional or a beginner or intermediate or a seasonal coder. You will have this what errors, but then your ability to fix it makes you to stand. So let me just make some works in my code, and then so let me copy this. My machine is slowing down. Okay, let me copy this and paste it there. Now let's run this code. Because I'm recording, so because it's supposed to use my camera, and I'm using my camera to record, so that is the problem I'm having here. So I'm using my built-in cameras to record, and then I want to use the same camera to capture this stuff, so sometimes it is conflicting, so that's why it is not coming. So like if I off my own camera and then run this code, it will work. But then I'm just giving you a clue as to when we deal with the Python basis, then I'll line up all the specialized areas so that you guys can pick your interest area, and then you can then focus on that and become expert in that area. And I'm going to be here to guide you till the end. So see you tomorrow, and thank you for watching.